All right, welcome back to Liquidity and Liquor. I'm Scott D. Clary with Yosef Martin. Today we're talking about investment bankers.
So we're going to talk about snitches.
I don't even know why an investment banker is a snitch. Why is an investment banker a snitch? So let's again, investment banker. You're looking to raise money. You're looking to close your next round.
Yeah.
You're working with an investment banker. It could be retainer. It could be performance. It's going to take a percentage of the amount raised.
That's what the investment banker does, right?
Yes.
If you want to sell your business, usually they'll go in and they'll be the one that facilitate everything for you and bring the buyers, take a percentage. But like I said, they're the biggest snitches. What happened is, and I love them by the way, but they're important in our life. We need them. But just be aware, you guys, they are snitches. So during the time I had Boxy, I had endless investment bankers walking down my throat, coming in, trying to get my business. So one day when I sell, I'm going to be with him. I mean, imagine it was growing from 2018, where we were around 100 million, and so growing so fast all the way to 2020. All I had, every week or so, I would get calls, emails from them or them coming to my office. And you talk to them, and it's good to discuss with investment bankers because they tell you how is your industry doing, who in your industry sells for how much, what multiples. But then they tell you everything about them. And if they actually manage to work with them, they'll tell you everything about them. Oh, well, you know that she sold because her husband was cheating on her, and you know that, so that's how much money they actually made. This is what they'll tell you everything. So now when you listen to them, you said, all right, so now if I'm making, say, 200 this year, should I tell them I make 200? So how about I tell this one 150, this one will say 300, this one too. This one I know who, next time when someone comes to me and say, I heard you do 300. Oh, Morgan Stanley, motherfuckers. Yeah. That's what we did. And we were laughing. I was talking about this with Rich one time from Fashion Nova, and he was doing the same shit. Like, oh, you did the same. Every time you hear numbers. And like, okay.
It's a necessary evil though.
So make sure you remember not to give them all your information unless you have to, and it's part of the process. They're good people. You need to work with them. They're very smart, by the way, very smart. And if you want to work with them right, it's just like I tell you how to use ChatGPT. This is how you use investment bankers. Investment bankers, because they're snitches, your job is to look interested all the time with your business when they're knocking on your door and your business is doing amazing, to look interested, to act like you really like them, you're considering this, and you're asking questions. And they'll answer whatever you want. And sometimes you can ask questions about your competition, and in some cases they'll go to your competition, pull it out for you, give it to you, and feel like because they already provide you and did this espionage job for you, now you have a social obligation to work with them, which you don't. But that's my advice.
When do you start working with investment bankers? Because as a founder, I mean, it's tough to raise money and it's tough to close your deal or sell your business because it's so much time to do this, right? And investment bankers probably start at a good one's $10,000 a month retainer.
Yeah, it doesn't work like this. Like it's in my case, it was a little bit different. The first round, I think we paid $25,000, and then a percentage of the actual secondary that we get. So secondary is when you get cash to your pocket.
The last one I did was $10,000 a month retainer for up to 5 months, so $50K total, and then percentage.
So it's roughly around that, right? The real money they make is when they actually sell your business, but they want to make sure that if nothing happened, they didn't waste their time. So don't get mad when they ask you for money, because they are going to work. And let me tell you, they work. So they earn their money. The main point is you want to really negotiate on the part where you sell. So the idea is that you don't know until you enter what's going to be the number. So let's just say, when we came in with Boxy, or it's 200 million, 800 million, you don't know, right? And I don't remember what was the number where we said anything more than that, your percentage gonna be above. Let's just say we said 2%, now it's gonna be 4%. Anything over that number, I don't remember exactly, because an investment banker kind of like said, well, if I make 2%, as long as I sell, that's what counts. So why do I care if it's 300 or 350, as long as it's more secure? But you want to get 350, for example, right? Well, then you tell them, listen, anything over 290. You're gonna get an additional 2 points. Now they're gonna fight like animals
to get that
that extra money, because that can be more than the. So that's the idea. So you kind of like do your own math, and you said, you know what, that's probably gonna be a little bit less achievable to get that number. So let's get them a little bit more.
In my opinion, the second you can afford them, you're talking about also like when you were looking to sell for a certain amount. I would even say like much earlier on. Obviously, you use them for I think one other. I can't remember all the different raises you did.
Well, we
in
had.
but I would say like
one,
as soon as you can, because as a founder, I don't think your focus should be raising money if you can afford somebody to help you with that. Because if not, it's going to be super distracting.
It really
it's a
depends,
full-time job.
but Scott, it really depends on the business because some businesses they work under debt, so you consistently have to raise money. My companies were always profitable, so
That's a different conversation. By the way.
So I was able to do it when I want to do it on my terms. So the rule of thumb for me was sell when you don't have to sell, because then you can make your numbers. And when I did the first round, I was profitable, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, it was all secondary. Secondary means you get the money to your pocket. Primary means they invest in the business, but they put the money on the balance sheet, meaning for the business, you're not taking it home because the business either don't have enough money or it needs to grow and so on. So you show, look, the business is making money. I don't need any more money in order to grow. It can keep growing. But I want to de-risk a little bit. I want to cash out. Let's say tomorrow I get hit by a truck. You know, I want my family to be okay, whatever it is, right? So that's the idea. When they ask you, look, why do you want to sell then if it's so good? Well, because I want to do risk. It's absolutely accepted. Everybody understand that. You're like, I'll sell a percentage and let's go. So that was the first time when we did this, and actually it was a really good team that we work with here. I forget the name, but Sapal, I don't remember the company name, but they were great down here in, there was more of a boutique company, and the second one was Morgan Stanley, and they also did a fantastic job. That's when I sold on a big exit. The only thing I will say is that when you interview them, and I'm giving tips over here, we should go and do another podcast for that because that's off brand, but we should do another one about that.
About interviewing investment bankers?
How
that's
to
the whole
interview
topic?
investment. Yeah, we should do a topic.
Okay, so basically use them if you can, understand what they can offer the business, know that they're snitches too.
They're snitches, so be careful with what you tell them, but remember, because they're snitches, they'll give you information about your competition that might be very instrumental for your growth, and also about the space if they are working in your space. So that's the last
thing.
Yeah,
good. All right. Okay, that's it for today. If you enjoyed, please subscribe on YouTube. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can download and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts or on liquidityandliquor.com.